Okay. Happy New Year, guys.
Happy New Year. Welcome to 2023.
2023 with confetti and all the rest. Woo. How was your break? What'd you get up to?
We went to Japan and experienced. It's not my first time in Japan, but it was my first time as a content creator in Japan. So it was quite of an overwhelming experience because everywhere we go, I'm just like, oh my god, it's content. We have there are times where we have multiple, 2 phones and a camera on me.
Did you find new technology there? I remember going to Japan years ago and thinking, oh my god, they've got battery packs for mobiles.
Oh yes, that was cool, wasn't it?
Yes, this is BlackBerry era.
I mean, I see a lot, but the thing is, I think the whole time I was there, I almost I worried about my luggage because I know I'm going to buy things in Universal Studio Japan or Disneyland Japan.
Yes.
Those,
the
popcorn buckets. They're famous for popcorn buckets. So those two take an entire. We bought a small luggage just to fit those two. If it's gadgets, I don't think I bought any, but I did see a lot. If you go to Donkey, it's everywhere.
because their gadgets, you see it in Japan, and then in Australia, it comes out a few years later.
Yeah.
It doesn't come out straight away.
Yeah.
And then you're explaining it to your friends, and you're no, trying to explain the technology, and then it comes out so many years after the fact.
It becomes a norm after.
I know, I can't, Japan, did you get any sleep? Or were you just so busy?
We did actually. I think we came back to the hotel at 10 o'clock every day, which is not bad.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people go crazy. And then from 10 o'clock, I just started editing. Because I still try and post 2 or 3 content a day.
Yes.
But I think mostly I post 2. I kind of scaled down. I did edit a lot in the train as well.
Oh, yes, the bullet train?
Yes, it was crazy. I was editing in train. I was or even filming in the train because the train's so cool.
Oh, everything is so cool about Japan.
Everything is just so intended. Everything they do. That's why a lot of the comments I got in my Japan content are it's a dystopian world. It's so true because almost everything that they do or you see or you hear are intended for something.
Yeah.
Which is scary. If you think about it, that means everything
has intention.
Have intention. Yeah. There is a reason.
Yes. Yeah. It's so true. It makes me think of when I was over there for work and then the tsunami hit.
Yeah.
After the tsunami, the cleanup was all intended, right?
Yeah.
Now that you say it, so the fridges, the white goods, they packed it all the way up.
Yeah.
Everything was very systematic.
Yes.
The rubble, the cars, and then everything is just where it's supposed to be.
Or even you start hearing noises. And what is this bird noises? And then you notice that fake bird noises, it's clearly computerized bird noises are meant for the hearing impaired people. Visual impaired people.
Yeah.
To hear the bird, and that's where you know where the entrance of the train station are, or that's so where you cross the roads.
Yeah.
The closer the bird noises are. So everything is intended. One of my content is so weird. One of my content, I noticed that in Japan, stamps are really important still.
Stamps,
the official
really?
Stamps. You have a home official stamps to accept goods, but you also have your professional stamps in the office.
Yes.
So in order you don't sign, you stamp. So
because it's so outdated here, right? There's no stamps anymore, and the art of stamp collecting is just you don't really hear about it. But
no, actually, I don't know anything that's stamp anymore.
Well, do you remember going shopping and there would be you'd buy a bag of postage stamps, and then as little kids, all you do is just put. I had a stamp collection, and you just line out. This one's from America.
So true. But in Japan, the office one, for example. You know how they bow to show respect. So if a document requires 5 signatories, you'll see 4 stamps that are slanted and one that's straight.
No.
So the straight, is the highest.
It's
the highest. Is the boss. Essentially, the highest ranking person to sign the signatures will be the one that's like this. Everyone else's will be bowed to that one. And then I, as an Asian person, sees that as a sign of respect.
Yes.
But then I did realize after reading the comments, because it blew up. I think in TikTok it's I don't know, a few millions, and in reals it's millions as well. And then I read the comments, they're all like, oh my God, what a dystopian world. That's not respect. That's showing subserviency, which is true in some way. I think it's both.
Yes.
Yeah, there is a certain signs of respect, but that is so true as well, that you feel like, what if you don't want to be subservient and just want to
you want to be
straight. Like, you're going to be so rogue that you're going to be hated in the office.
No, you know what would be funny? If it was like the boss is straight and then like there's a few followers and they're
that's what I meant. Like,
obvious.
And then you'll be it's almost like you're pressured to do that. So that's the bit, respect. I feel like I get it, because respect should be earned and should not be dictated by you. But that does feel dictated. Like it felt like it's pressured. If you are not the highest, then you must stand slanted, right?
I wonder whether like people count down the days where they'll be like not slanted and straight. Whether they go, if I do a few more years at this company, I'm going to be.
when STEM's getting rolled out, or like pushed out. Yeah, that will extinct, because people are not going to sign slanted. I don't know how people sign slanted. So. Yeah, so those kind of things, a lot of things in my content where I see things cool, but because they're so intended, people think of it as dystopian society. Dystopian society.
And I think maybe it's a case of like, if you are Japanese, it's just business as usual. Yeah. Like, it's what you grew up with, it's what you know. And then like even the customs and traditions, like growing up, even for me, like respect is a big thing. Yeah. So it was actually quite hard, like adjusting in a work environment where it's like you can share your opinions just because someone's...
It's still hard now.
Sorry?
It's still hard for me now.
But you know what I mean? Yeah. Like that it actually is a positive trait to express what you're feeling and thinking right then and there and to actually have like a robust discussion if needed. Yeah. But it took me a very long time to kind of understand that. Yeah. Because you're like, okay, that's my boss. Like, and then I feel like if you have layers of hierarchy, it kind of makes the conversation a bit stifled. Yeah. Like, because you're just a bit intimidated to actually open up and talk.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It's interesting looking at the Japanese society. Like, I feel like a lot of them are just welcoming of being told what to do because they just can't be bothered or voice, they're too shy or whatever reason. And that's when it works, right? I think as long as the Japanese society opens up for those who don't want to be told and just listen to them and understand where they're coming from, then that's fine, right? But so I don't know. It just works for their society.
Well, it's interesting that you talk about it, because it reminds me of like the Disney show that I'm watching called Chasing Waves. Yes. And it's about like the Japanese Olympic team for surfing. Yeah. And then they were saying a bit about what you were touching on was like everything is so, has its place, that the counterculture, if you want to be a rebel in Japan, is if you fall into like lean closer to that Western culture. So like surfing and, that kind of Americana type vibe. And it kind of got me thinking, like, in terms of your nationality. So there was a lot of like Japanese, but they weren't born and raised in Japan. They were born and raised, say, in America. And it's kind of like your allegiances. They're surfing for Japan. Yeah, they're surfing for Japan. So
they're representing Japan.
Japan.
They do have Japanese parents. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they do. Their parents.
So like dual citizenship,
Yes. Oh, no, not dual citizenship. So it would be like me.
Because for Olympics, you got to be the citizenship of the country to represent.
I don't know how they went about it. Maybe they changed the paperwork. It's only their parents. So I know that their parents are definitely Japanese.
Because there are countries where you automatically get passport if your parents are like UK, right? Yes. So it might be that they do have Japanese citizenship.
Yeah, maybe that's how it works.
Because in Indonesia, I know for a fact that there are like people from other countries who literally have been, because it's not easy to get Indonesian citizenship, but they've been like fast-tracked and make it so easy just so that they can represent the team.
Yes, they leave.
Like on World Cup or whatever, soccer or whatever. Yeah. So it is interesting.
I mean, I would love to, if given the chance, to have like multiple citizenships everywhere, just like to make traveling easier.
I know people that have 3, like, because I think her dad is UK and her mom is Chilean. So, and both country have, like, if you parents are have another citizenship from that country, your children automatically gets it. So they got Chilean or Latin American, and then UK, and then Australian.
Oh, that's pretty crazy. So cool. Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's good about the chasing waves is like, if you are given that opportunity, what would you do? Are you representing Australia, or are you representing Vietnam for you, or Indonesia for me?
That's right. So many different like ways to go about it. But then I think like if you think about like your chances of actually winning a medal, you would think strategically that like if I represented, say, Vietnam in surfing or China in surfing, the chance like there'd maybe not China because of the population, but there'd be less. Like more of a likelihood to win gold.
But I think a lot of people will be like, who pays me the more?
Oh, really? That's
I reckon like some country would like huge, like would fight for. If you're a world champion or whatever, you're really big.
Yeah. That reminds me of Eileen Gu. And then she was a skier and very like photogenic, American born, and her mum is Chinese, and I think she represented China. Yes, and
I think I saw that.
It's just that pull
Must
that tug.
Chinese give a lot of money.
Oh, but then like she is like the brand ambassador for like Louis Vuitton and like so many upmarket high end like brands. And good on her. I feel like it's just a personal choice. I feel like sometimes you have an affinity, but then you also like think. As your parents get older, you do want to cling on to something, and it is like a form of you can play
appreciation.
Appreciation. It's the appreciation of like things.
Yeah, so I guess it depends the motivation, but I'm sure a lot of people would be swayed with a lot of money if the country says, represent my country and I'll give you this millions of dollars.
Imagine if you represented like somewhere like Monaco, where they're just like flushed with cash.
Yes. Yeah. That could. I'm sure a lot of people will be swayed.
But then you love those stories of where they come from like a really remote, tiny country and they're like the underdogs. And remember Eric the Eel during the Olympics?
No.
He was like this underdog from, a country where, I think it was swimming.
Yeah.
And like he could barely swim.
Yeah.
And then he was like this big Olympic hero.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I
remember that guy, the guy that is a figure skater.
Everyone remembers that. Everyone remembers that. The Stephen Bradbury.
Stephen Bradbury, yes.
Everyone remembers.
So every other people had a crash in front of him, and he just survived it, and he win gold because he survived the crash. Because he not drove. What is it? Ski? Not ski.
He's speed skating.
Speed skating past the crash.
Isn't that the metaphor for life, though?
Yeah.
Like I'd so be like a Stephen Bradbury, where like everyone.
It becomes a thing, right? Let's let Stephen Bradbury this thing, or like they became like a saying.
Yeah. It's more like a description of like how you go to do things. Hilarious. Is to kind of Stephen Bradbury it.
Yes, let's Stephen Bradbury everything.
Oh, that's so
Wait
funny.
until people just crash in front of you, and then just be the hero after.
Yeah, exactly. Why not? Like let them make the way. Are you on WeChat?
I sometimes use it, but I don't often use it. Okay. I know that it's becoming like this intrinsic thing in China where you use it for everything.
It's legitimately like the other day I realised that a lot of the school mums, are on WeChat, and so I decided to upload the WeChat.
For what purpose though?
Just it's like the Chinese version of WhatsApp.
Yeah, but it's hard to use in Australia unless you have a Chinese address, a Chinese national card, and a Chinese everything.
No?
To pay for
Oh,
payment.
to pay for it. No, to payment. I'm saying
to use it to the full potential of what it is.
To unlock it,
to send you a hongbao or angbao or the red envelope, because that's a huge thing is sending each other's red envelope. And then the funniest thing that is so popular about it, is that you have a chat group, right?
Yes.
Then you allocate a money inside the envelope. Let's say, I don't know, $5, and then you send it to the chat group, and everyone have a chance to open it once.
Yeah.
And
It's like a lottery system.
So and then it got publicized. God. So who's the bad luck? Like China is such a gambling thing. It's like I only got 5 cents. Oh, I got $4.98, and everyone else got 1 cent.
Yeah.
Like so, it's
or
not,
like the $8.88.
So it's not even the first person will get the biggest. It's not. It's literally
it's
gambling. And then it's become the most popular thing in WeChat. But it is, you have to have Chinese address, Chinese national card, Chinese bank card, which everything is so hard.
Yeah,
but other than that, it is in Australia primarily used for chatting.
Chatting, yes. It's addictive. So every time I come home at night, that's what I do now. I literally open my
What's the
WeChat.
difference with WhatsApp?
No, because like these mums are like, there's so many, like it's so much correspondence, right? And because like I don't really have.
Do they use a voice note? Because they use it a lot in China.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
No, so they are like native Chinese. So I have to press the Google Translate. So that's like what I'm doing most of the time. And it's like does a circle to like translate it. And then like literally I sit at night and then I just read.
What are they? Why are you reading it? Why are you so addicted to reading it?
I know, I'm really.
What do they talk about?
I don't know.
That's your TikTok. It's reading WeChat messages.
I don't know if anyone else is feeling, but yes, yeah. So I'll just like.
Do they talk about the children or about random shit?
No, just random shit, which is like my favorite thing. So
the funniest thing about WeChat as well is in Australia, they use WeChat a lot to pay as well.
Yeah.
For
yes,
mainly
they
Chinese
do, don't they? Yeah,
mainly Chinese businesses.
Yes.
And you know that I heard that Australian tax office don't like that because the money arrive in China, and it's like you don't pay Australian tax. I don't know whether there's catch on that now, but I know that a lot of businesses prefer you pay for WeChat because it circumvent paying ATOs.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah,
but so the WeChat, it's like mums that you think would be very quiet. Yeah. They're very active on like talking and like, filling in on what's going on. And I feel like once you're in the WeChat, you lift up a lid of like another world. As in at school, you would assume that they're just very quiet and like, they, look after their girls, love their girls and whatnot. But then on the WeChat, it's like, wow, you have this like personality that's like really,
I can see
really
this in
engaging.
the comment. I can see this in the comments of if we publish this
bit,
that people will be like, there's WhatsApp. Like WhatsApp.
I know, right? There is WhatsApp, and I'm on WhatsApp as well. Yeah. And there's like a university chain, and we. But
you just find it interesting this Chinese community,
and also because like
Do you have a lot of Chinese community in your school?
Yes, it's big.
Oh, it's in Burwood.
Yeah. It's really big.
Strathfield.
Strathfield. And it's quite big, and like because I know pinging, so if you ever study Chinese, pinging is like the
ABCD equivalent. Yeah.
Exactly, yes. And then so you find the pinging now on like Google, and then pinging can tell you what the character of the word looks like. And then so I'm trying to write it.
Oh, so you respond
in Chinese.
But you can just Google Translate English to Chinese.
Yeah, no, but I'm doing it manually because I think it's just I like just seeing, I remember this character. Okay, this is what the character book looks like.
I wonder if you can actually learn Chinese by the end of this year.
I reckon by the end of this year they should do like a little quiz. And that's how I've learned it through WeChat.
Or even like not a quiz, just like how many words do you remember?
But you
can't write it. You only can type it.
Yeah, you can type it, right? So my friend changed my keyboard so it's English and it's Chinese now, yes. And then so I'm like when I respond, I actually think about what I'm going to respond in Chinese to see if it makes sense. Yeah. And then like write it. But it's quite strange because I'm used to like Chinese characters going down. Yeah. But this is obviously it's modern. It goes across. Yeah.
Yeah. That's it's the old school China.
The old, traditional. And then but then all of my characters are in traditional, not simplified, because I can't read the simplified.
Oh, so you can read Chinese?
Yeah, I can, but only little characters. Little characters.
Oh, so just but does your parents speak it?
Yes, they speak it.
Which one? Canto, Mando?
Mandarin.
Mandarin?
Yeah. So
they speak Canto.
Yes, they both speak Mandarin to us, but then they speak different dialects. So my dad's dialect is Hokkien and then my mum is Chaozhou. Okay. Yes, so it's like, okay. So I understand a few dialects.
Is there a lot of Chaozhou people in Vietnam? Interesting.
I think there actually is, yeah. Because it's like a trade route.
In Indonesia, yeah, that's right. In Indonesia, there is a city where it's all like Chao Chou people.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and there is in the main island, Java Island, it's mainly Kecha or Fujian people.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why my parents are Fujian people.
Yes, because there might be a chance that potentially I go to Indonesia this year because my auntie is trying to find long lost relatives in a remote Indonesian island.
That would be good content.
Yeah. So your sister-in-law sent me like a YouTube video of what the
village
looks
a lot
like.
Of these. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Where is it? What city?
It's it's a long it's Baba something. Anyway, it's like a long chain.
Is it how remote?
Village.
Like I don't know any village that says Baba at the beginning.
It's this one. So my auntie was telling me about she's doing this investigation and she's just trying to find this place and she couldn't find it for a longest time. This place, the Babi.
Bagan Siapi. Oh, okay. That's not that remote.
Oh, okay. Well,
it is quite remote.
Okay.
But it's known. Like, I have heard it. Like,
okay.
There would be hundreds of thousands of cities that I wouldn't have heard. But Bagan Siapi, I have heard.
Oh, you have? Okay.
It's actually one of the bigger city in a very small province.
Oh.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
So it's like it's like Darwin, let's say. Like a Northern Territory is the least known.
Right.
It's the least known city as a state.
Yes.
And then it's the biggest city in that state.
Yeah, okay, right.
Province for us, yeah.
So the idea is to...
There's a lot of Chinese there, yes.
Yes, and apparently a lot of Hokkien people there as well. So the folklore in the family is my granddad's cousins, when the war broke out, they got moved and they ended up in this part of town.
Yeah.
And so my auntie wants my auntie wants to just go there to find out who's there and like if she can connect with anyone. And then she just said it's just to kind of continue on the family heritage. But we do know that's like the lead is that we know where this place is.
Yeah.
And then she's been looking for years to try and find a connection. And then
there's always one in the family that is
there is, right?
The heritage.
And then like the surprising thing is I asked your sister-in-law and then she's like, yeah, I know. And she's like, oh, I actually have a friend whose granddad was a governor there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, great. But then because we would probably have to travel with her to get the translation, like travel with, everyone.
Yeah.
So it's exciting.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, so
when are you planning on doing that?
Well, I've got to speak to my auntie because I think there are some dates like at the end of this year that potentially like we can all, like the stars will all line up and then we go.
Gosh. Bagan Siapi. Oh,
yeah. Road trip. We should make
t-shirts. City that you heard about, but you
never
would
been
never
to.
go.
Yeah. But now there's a reason to go. It's really exciting.
Darwin.
Darwin.
You heard about it, but you'd never go.
Have you been to Darwin?
No.
You have to go to Darwin.
In
Darwin is like, it's got a lot of
content creation.
It actually. Seriously, it
just
is.
Just randomly see a snake on the street.
No, you see.
Crocodile Dundee.
No, it's heaps of Indonesian and Chinese. It will shock you. Really? It's a very, very young population, really young, and like it's heavily influenced by Chinese and Indonesians. Right? I went to the markets, and you can get like jackfruit shakes.
Oh, I guess it's hot up there.
And you can get lam nung.
Yeah,
like big balls of lam nung.
Yes.
Oh my god! Like it's tasty, like it's really good. I really like Darwin. You wouldn't. I don't think you'd be disappointed, but it's one city that I would like to go back to. It's just cool.
If I ever have to go for work, and then I'll just tie it up with the weekend, and then
because it flips your brain of what you think Darwin is, and you're like, wow, the population's young, and then it's also quite diverse as well.
I have a friend who I think has a brother who's like in an army or mining base, and he loves Darwin. Yes. So he loves it. So I'm just making a statement based off what I think.
What you think?
Darwin is.
Yes. Yeah, you have your preconception in your head, and then once you're actually there, you're like, oh wow, this is different.
What's the next topic?
All right. Last topic is interest rates.
Yes.
So how are you coping with the interest rates? Because it's a big thing in Australia, right?
Yeah.
That they're predicting that there'll be multiple hikes this year, that they're forecasting about 6.
Well, for context, I guess, like the rates have gone up over, I don't know, like it's over 100% since what it was stable for a long time.
Exactly,
right?
yeah. So for the longest time, it was you could fix the interest rate.
Doubled, that's what I meant.
And I think they're saying the people that will hurt the most are the ones where they have a fixed interest rate and they are used to paying X amount of money. And once that expires and they move from a fixed rate to a different rate, the variable rate, it will shock them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's
so.
crazy.
Yeah, because what it was before was like what? You can get rates that are like 1.8%
that's right.
in the
That's
past.
right. Yeah.
Or even 2.3, 2.4%, and now it's like 5 point something. And they said they're predicting another 6 more times increases.
Can you believe that?
Which oh my gosh, it's crazy. That means
like
if it's 0.25, so that means 0.1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's 1.5% extra.
Yeah.
So that's almost like on a 700,000 loan, it's like, I don't know, $2,000 extra or something like that.
Yeah, every month.
Yeah, every month.
Which is just how are you going to find that money? Like that's what my husband and I were talking about. He was like, look, if we both didn't work, he would go to OnlyFans. I said, what would you do OnlyFans for? I'm like, you need to find a niche for OnlyFans. I said, there's a lot of people on OnlyFans.
Yes, you're going to have a following first. It's hard.
It's hard out there. It's hard. It's consistent.
Yeah. So, that's going to be very tough. It's going to be...
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm assuming that means house... Because right now, the house market's already going down for a lot of places. Not everywhere, but a lot. So that's just going to amplify that even further, I suppose.
Yes, and I wonder, it'd be interesting to, get your feedback and, find out what the listeners think as well, like what you would do to make that extra money. Because if it's $200... or $2,000, say, a month. That's like a whole salary, right?
I think probably a lot of them will just be forced to sell.
Yeah. I think that's kind of the
renting.
last.
And then now the rental market's going bananas.
Oh, it's going crazy. It's going crazy because all the international students from China have to
come back.
They can't do any online courses.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they physically have to be in that location.
I hope that's good for the economy.
I think it's great for the economy, right? Yeah. And
it's like a double-edged sword with everything, right? Yeah. And then rental market's crazy, and then now property market's going to not be great.
Yes.
But then it could be good for people who wants to buy.
Exactly.
Market. You just have to bite the bullet and pay the
deposit
6.5%
and then the
interest rates until it starts going down again.
Yeah.
Like technically speaking, I still remember when with my first mortgage ever, it was around 5.8%.
Yeah,
back then.
Back then, yes.
In 2011.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's not far-fetched.
Yeah, it's not unheard of for you, but I would imagine the ones that have been on a fixed for a long time, it will come as a rude shock.
Yeah.
For sure. Because it's like there's no reprieve. It just keeps on increasing.
Forever.
It keeps on, and then you've got to find that extra money just from your weekly budget. Like, where are you going to squeeze? Like, I remember doing budgets, and it's like, oh, where am I going to find extra 100 here, 200 here? But 2,000, that's
2,000 is a lot.
Yeah. I don't know,
even a promotion would sometimes would not even give you $2,000 a month.
Yeah.
After tax. So that's basically you need 3,000.
That's right.
Yeah. You need more because it's after tax.
Yes.
That's the thing that's crazy.
Exactly. And then you just kind of think, oh, how are other people doing it? And then what do I need to cut down on?
Yeah.
And then, should I be cutting down on things? Because I always think experiences, it's not worth cutting down on because you'll remember it forever. But then, experiences get very expensive.
Yeah, $2,000. You have to cut down, eating.
Yeah, I know,
you have to literally stop going out completely.
Yeah, you have to stop going out, because yesterday I went out and then it was the bill was, under 200, but then you think, oh my God, I can't keep on doing this. It just needs to be
your family is half a dozen.
I know, yeah. But then, when you just think, oh, God, and then the hair,
So if you have a family of like family gathering, who pays? Do everyone just chip in?
My auntie pays.
Oh, okay. Because you're a rich auntie. This is the auntie who wants to find the...
Yes, the same one.
Of course, the rich one who got nothing to do. And the one who's like, oh, let me find things to do.
So,
lucky for you. Okay, lucky you got auntie.
Yeah, your sister-in-law was funny. She was so funny. She was like, oh, by the way, we can either charter a helicopter or you get there by road. If you get there by road, like it's really bumpy and it takes 4 hours. Yeah. And then I just said to my auntie,
it's not that expensive.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But I mean, it's a lot of money, but it's not like here. Like,
exactly. It's not the
if your auntie charter a helicopter here, he gets it's chumps for her, like, it's nothing for her.
Yeah, so I mean, it's quite interesting that you brought it up because there comes the idea of like etiquette, right? Yeah. So do you think that because you earn the most or you have the most, you should be paying for like the whole banquet?
So usually in my family, my mum is number 3. Yes. So she's not the oldest.
Yes.
But she tends to pay the most.
Right.
Because back then she was the most, before my dad retires, she was the most affluent.
Ah, okay. Yes.
Person.
Yes.
So and the others would complain to her. I was like, you shouldn't let you're being used because you're too nice. But my mom just like, I just want to have problems.
You just want everyone to enjoy it and everyone to be there and like for you to enjoy the situation. Yeah.
So it's I don't know. So it's whether you're the oldest. I think in Chinese family usually it's the oldest who pays, right? But then there's a lot of family that is
like
the
a
most
default.
affluent.
Yeah, it's always like a default. Yeah. It's quite interesting. And then there's always, I think, within that dynamic that you mentioned, there's always the one that has the money but is quiet.
Yeah. Well, now she no longer has the money.
Oh, you're...
Yeah.
Oh, she's...
I mean, the other sister are like, Carmine's bitch. Carmine's...
See what happens.
Like she lost everything to like a pyramid scheme.
Oh, Jesus.
Now all of us are like escaping being contacted by her because pyramid scheme. Like those people are trying to sell you stuff. Like a plague.
Yes, the pyramid scheme. Jeez, that would be hard, right?
Yeah, so that's the dynamics in your family is that auntie always just pay. Maybe she's like one of those people just like, I just can't be bothered having this discussion. Let me just pay because I can pay.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, pretty much. It's like the whole thing.
The other siblings wouldn't like offer?
I think it's just assumed.
Yeah.
It's just assumed. And then I said like...
But the level of richness is completely vast. Different.
It is, but then it becomes a matter of principle.
No, but it is that true? Like
yes, that's true. Yes.
Is he the oldest?
No.
Oh, she's not the
oldest. Yeah.
The oldest is far less.
That's a big, gaping.
Point Piper compared to Cameraman. I don't know.
But
actually, a lot of rich people in Cameraman.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Well, she's
in Cameraman. She's in Cameraman.
But then the whole point is like, is it a matter of etiquette and like principle of because you wouldn't do that with your friends, right? Family, it's interesting as family, like. Yeah, it's only with family. I notice you don't do it like with our friends, like, you don't go, oh, well, you're the one who's the most affluent, you pay. But it's fair. It's always a family thing, right?
Is this siblings used to be, or back when they were younger, very close?
Yeah, very close. Yeah,
I think
very
that's why.
Yeah, I think it's the extreme closeness has something to do with it.
If they're like rigid and old school Asian, it'll always be the oldest one.
Yeah,
but
that's true.
Close and they're like
super
very
close.
chill to each other. It's just whoever have the money, like
yeah, because like they'll go on family trips.
Yeah,
and like
she just pays for everything.
Yeah. But it would be nice to be that person though in saying that.
Yeah.
Because I feel like
because I'm sure she felt.
You get something from it. Yeah, exactly. Like if you have it and you're not going to feel like it's a big burden on you and you can cover it, like why not?
Yeah.
I mean, isn't that what money is for?
Yes.
Like that's just my opinion
that's my mom's
anyways.
principle as well.
Yeah.
Because even she loves to give like tips. Indonesia, like 50,000 rupees, which is $5, is huge. Like people don't tip that amount. People tip 10,000, like $1.
Yeah.
Is already a lot.
Yeah.
And then so my mom go to Starbucks and she would just give 50,000 to literally almost the entire Starbucks.
That's so sweet.
So now, whenever we go to Starbucks is huge in Indonesia. Let me tell you, Starbucks is like
bigger than America. Starbucks, like as in the culture,
yes, and it's not because of what they sell; it's because the prestige that comes with it. Because it's XC Indonesia. Like you can get a coffee for like $1 or $2, but then Starbucks is like $9 or $8, whatever. It's so
Isn't it funny, like what you think is prestige? Because apparently, like KFC is very prestige in China. Like
but it's the opposite in Indonesia. It's Macca's that is the prestige.
Yes. Like I wonder.
So it's interesting, right? But the point, what I'm saying is, it's so popular that it's always queuing like crazy.
Starbucks, yeah.
But we never have to queue.
Oh, you got the VIP line.
And then suddenly 10 people would come and greet my mom. Obviously, they want the tip.
Yeah.
And then my mom would do it discreetly, and then. We just tell them what we want. Yeah. And then suddenly all just like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, they've got the orders, it's done.
And my mom, because we always say, is this wasting money? I'm like, well, no, because first of all, it gives her a sense of
that's
charitable. Because, it's helping their family. Because Indonesia, the minimum pay is like, $250, $800, $300 a month or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever that is. So 50,000, $5 a lot. When your average monthly salary is $310.
Yes. Well, it is a lot,
Right? If you think about it.
And I think it's like because you're actually doing nothing for it.
Yeah.
Like you think about these Starbucks workers, they'd be constantly like cleaning, it'd be on, like you have to like deal with a lot of customers, and then this is just like money that's just there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's the same with like valet. Like for the mall, because Indonesia is huge for like mall culture, shopping mall culture. So there's a valet, and then my mom always tip. Like if there is 3 people working as a valet, she'll give them all, even though only one would serve her. Yeah. And then so from now on, wherever a lot of weekends the valet is full. Yeah. But it's never full for my mom.
Oh, so they know.
They call my mom grandma. Like,
grandma. That's really sweet.
And then like literally it will never be full for my mom. Even if it's to the brim, like the car, they will find a space. Actually, they will reserve a space for my mom, even if my mom don't come.
Yeah. That's really sweet.
So I guess, she always tell us, like, see, you guys always complain that I give too much tip, but you are getting the benefit. You're getting the benefit. You all people who can.
Yeah, and I think if you can, why not?
Yeah. That's like what she say. Like, it's not making me poor.
Yes, exactly. I'm all for that.
My mom, but it is scary. If you just spend a week with my mom, like you will see the amount of money that comes out, the amount of $5, 50,000 rupees.
Yeah, she's got
that comes out as a tip.
Ready to go.
Like just
But imagine if you were the flip side. If you saw her, you'd be like, "Oh, this is gonna make my day." Like,
totally. Every time she sees, people always light up when they see her car. Like,
and then like you get out, they're like, "Oh, it's not the mom."
Because there has been moments. I've seen moments where my mom would give 100,000, which is $10 around, right? Huge to a beggar on the street. Right? That's like. Crazy, by the way. And then the beggar would go in front of the car and start like
I know.
Like
it's it's nice. Like I took the same auntie to a charity store we were doing for work in Vietnam, and it's nice. Like behind the scenes, what you don't see, it's like they are able to help when you can. Even if it's a prosthetic leg or it's like food for the month. Like it really does. Money goes a long way in these certain in these areas, that you just here it's just like abundance
it's
of
like
abundance.
Take it for granted.
Yeah, you take it for granted, and then so it is nice. Like I think like it's the world needs charitable people who have who are quite generous and have big hearts. Yeah.
And I think it's like they like it for their ego, I guess, and let them be. Like
just to know that you're worth something to someone. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you, Auntie.
Thank you, Auntie. Thank you.